Having a mentee is a great privilege. You get the opportunity to impact and infect while you invest in somebody else's career. It can also be a lot of pressure as well. So here are some thoughts that I have around being an effective mentor. First of all, let's talk about, in my parlance, what a mentor is. A mentor is the person that you can tell the good, the bad, and the ugly to. This is the person that you can truly share the intimate details of your career with, your fears, your concerns, your mistakes, your triumphs, and frankly, your designs and strategies. I'm in this box and I'd like to be in this box. Who do I work and how do I get there? So as a mentor, you need to feel comfortable that you know this person very well. While many organizations will assign younger professionals or even mid-level professionals a mentor, if you don't know this person that well, you can't really think of yourself as a mentor. You can think of yourself as an advisor. And anybody in the organization that has the intellect and or the experience to answer any questions that a candidate might have, you can call yourself an advisor. But the mentor is the person that gives tailored advice, tailored specifically to that person, which means the advice that you might give to that person and the advice that you might give to somebody else, and they both are going after the same thing, that advice will be different because they are two different people. So as a mentor, you need to feel, number one, that you know that person very well and you can tailor that advice to their strengths and weaknesses. And number two, that you can give it to them straight, no chaser. I tell people, if you don't feel comfortable that you can tell that person the real deal, then perhaps that person should be your advisee and not your mentee at the end of the day. Because what that person needs from you as a mentor is the real deal feedback. Many professionals, especially professionals of color and professionals that are women, don't necessarily get straight feedback from their organizations. And you know as well as I do, you can't fix it if you don't know that it's broken. So you have to think of yourself as that person that will give that person that feedback so that they can course correct and they can improve. Now, the mentor listens very well, number one. Number two, the mentor gives them what I like to call clean advice. Not advice that is influenced by how you're feeling, advice that is influenced by how you were treated in an organization, but that 20/20 hindsight kind of advice. You can look at the situation, you can listen to the situation, and you can hear it clearly and give them dispassionate advice about what they might do on that particular situation. The second thing as a mentor is I like to give people real prescriptive feedback. Here's what you must say, or here's how you might conduct yourself. Because often the mentee might hear you, they might intellectually understand, but they may still not know how to execute. And a good mentor will either give them the prescription around how to execute or advise them to go speak to somebody else that they can get the correct information from. And in many cases, you as the mentor might make that introduction to them. Thirdly, a good mentor will follow up with their mentee, because I have found that especially millennials and Zers don't always close the loop the way boomers and older Xers might. So if you are a mentor of a millennial or a Zer, you might be very clear about your expectations about them following up, or you might in fact put that into your prescription of how you're speaking to that person, and you're the person that reaches out and says, how did that meeting go? Or what else might you need to do? Or how else can I be helpful? But I will tell you that it has been a privilege for me over the course of my career to mentor many, many professionals, even as early as when I was a third-year associate. There were so many pearls that I had acquired that I was more than willing to share with other people. And now that I am seasoned in my career, I spend a lot of time mentoring people. But I'm careful to mentor only those people that I believe that I know quite well and that I have that interaction with. People ask me all the time, can you be my mentor? And I say, again, in my parlance, if I don't know you very well, I can't give you tailored advice. But if you'd like, we can start an advisee relationship, and over time, that might mature into a mentoring relationship. As a mentor, you will talk about all kinds of things. It may include, here's the strategy of how to speak to this person. Here are the next 3 assignments that you might consider so that you are ready to be promoted to this thing. Here's when you might ask for a promotion or how you might ask for a salary adjustment. And it can even involve your attire. I remember one time having a conversation with one of my mentees, and this was way, way back when most organizations had gone to dress down attire as a part of their culture. Well, this particular person was trying to get promoted to the next level. I believe that every level has a uniform. Every job has a uniform. Whether you are working at a McDonald's or whether you're working in a corporation, there's a certain way that professionals show up every day. That's the uniform. Well, this person was dressing down, as we obviously could do. However, every officer in that particular department was dressed a certain way. There was a uniform, there was khakis, there was a navy blue blazer, or there was a full suit, no tie. And so I said to that person, if you want to be seen as an officer, you need to be seen as an officer. You're dressed down because the organization says that we can, but every officer in your group is dressing this particular way. If you want to be considered as such, then you need to follow the protocol. Well, needless to say, that person went kicking and screaming, but they did, in fact, change their uniform to the way the officers in that department were dressing, and lo and behold, a few months later, they were, in fact, promoted. Now, it was very difficult to say to the mentee, you're not dressing in the right way, but as a mentor, I felt it was my job to give it to them straight, no chaser, and to be honest. That is the most important thing that you can do as a mentor, to be honest. And in fact, I did dispense the advice, and it worked for them. So it's a privilege to be a mentor. Go get them.